El Salvador, one of the best use cases for Bitcoin by a country, by an economy in the world. Their vice president states that Bitcoin is driving the country's rebirth. That is true, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit more detail today and recap where El Salvador is at with Bitcoin here on the Blockcash Podcast channel. Make sure to stay for the full video. I'll give my thoughts and opinions at the very end. As always, we're going to read through this article first. So here on Watch Your Guru, it talks about an interview with Forbes that El Salvador's vice president, Félix Ulloa, I'm just going to call him Felix, forgive me, stated his opinion and belief that Bitcoin is driving the country's rebirth. I think that's pretty self-evident. Indeed, Felix discussed the integrated presence of the digital asset in the nation's economic upswing and the benefits of widespread adoption. El Salvador has long been recognized for its connection to the most prominent digital asset. Subsequently, Felix affirmed that the alignment with the cryptocurrency has been an overwhelming positive for the nation, playing a crucial role in its recent resurgence. The year thus far has been interesting for the whole sector since the fall of FTX and everything that happened in 2022. Countries have been heavily critical of the industry's position, and many nations have sought to combat its presence or establish clear regulations. Yet one country known for really embracing digital assets, obviously, is El Salvador. Now, Bitcoin as a driving factor in the country has had an impact on tourism, investments, overall economic health, crime too. Ultimately, it has become a key reason for the country's full revival thanks to President Bukele. Quote unquote, stating, without a doubt, tourism and the use of digital currencies go hand in hand and are a sign of the future and the rebirth of our country, said Felix. Additionally, he discussed Bitcoin's leading borderless financial systems and new opportunities, also stating that there were reactions in both directions. Some multilateral organizations initially made objections, and still the enthusiasm that started in the sphere of the digital economy with Bitcoiners, where El Salvador, having positioned itself as the first country to adopt a crypto as legal tender, was at the forefront, attracted many investors who are installed in El Salvador. El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender back in 2021, resulting in widespread opinions on the move. Ultimately, has proven to be a net positive, with the country authorizing and encouraging the use of this asset. Just to give you guys an idea, the homicide rate in El Salvador was one of the highest in the world just a year before Bukele took the presidency and started cracking down on the crime. But what really helps with crime, what really helps clean up an economy, that's tourism. No one really wanted to go to El Salvador for a lot of these reasons, and that has changed dramatically in just 2-3 years, shorter than that. All because of this stance, but because he's allowed Bitcoin to become legal tender in the country, and he's encouraged the adoption, it has created freedom, financial freedom within the country, as well as the tax incentives he's given for businesses to set up corporations in El Salvador. It's driving money and capital, it's driving people and interest. You're seeing the real estate sector grow. You're seeing the vacation sector grow. A lot of local people are doing very well. They're seeing their assets appreciate, especially when they accept Bitcoin and hold the Bitcoin. This has been something very good for El Salvador, and this is something that the IMF does not want to see. This is something that, global organizations and governments, don't want to admit, is that this is a very successful use case. And now you have countries like Argentina, where you have like Milei running for president, who's outside both major political parties, who's a huge supporter of Bitcoin and crypto, and thinks that it's a way to rejuvenize and reignite Argentina's economy. And it very well might be. Only time's going to tell, but in small use cases like this, it shows that this works, right? Bitcoin can function as an actual currency, as a store of value, as an asset, and within an economy and the confines of that. And economies are very complex, but it's working there. So why can't it work in a bigger economy, in a bigger setting, and in a multilateral relationship between other countries? I think what El Salvador has done is incredible, and I think it serves as one of the best use cases for Bitcoin that we've ever seen, period. And I think it will be the framework that a lot of countries go for when they decide that this is the right method to either have Bitcoin fully supplant or even supplement their national currency. It's going to happen. It's coming. And it's very exciting to see what has happened in El Salvador. So just want to share that article with you guys today and kind of recap how well they've done and where they're going and the fact that this is going to continue. And it's only going to get better for El Salvador and other countries that do the same, adopting Bitcoin as legal tender, and it should be. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below. Let's talk about it. Make sure to like and share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. You guys are the best. Talk to you tomorrow. Cheers.